Hey, you guys, I just wanted to get on here. Let me make sure that my mic is on. Is this on? Hello. Hey, y'all. So I just wanted to get on here and have a topic about relapse. Someone left a message or asked me a question. They wanted to know if, since I started AA, if I had a relapse. So I just want to say, first of all, welcome everybody from Facebook and from YouTube. I need to see how I can get Instagram on here, but I just wanted to get on here and encourage all those in recovery that our stories are going to be different. And just because relapse wasn't a part of my story when I started my recovery, that doesn't mean that it may not be a part of your story. So I put a description about relapse from, hold on, let me just get this together. In the description box below, I put something from Psychology Today. It's an article and it reads, the general meaning of relapse is a deterioration in health status after an improvement in the realm of addiction. Relapse has a more specific meaning, a return to substance use after a period of non-use, whether it lasts a month or years. Relapse is common enough in addiction recovery that it is considered a natural part of the difficult process of change. Between 40% and 60% of individuals relapse within the first year of treatment. According to the National Institute of Drug Abuse, relapse in addiction is of particular concern because it poses a risk of overdose. If someone uses as much of the substance as they did before quitting. And that could be any substance. That could be alcohol, any substance. I don't have to go down the list of what substance that is. But I just wanted to encourage you that, even I'm not encouraging guys to like relapse, but if you've relapsed, don't be hard on yourself. You're not the only one. It's happened. I pray that that doesn't have to be a part of your story, but if it is, just know that it's not uncommon and that it happens. And there's many great things on in this Psychology Today. So it also has contents that reads things like, what does relapse mean? What defines relapse? Why does relapse happen? What do I do? I do if I relapse? What do you do? Learning from relapse, overcoming hopelessness and shame. A lot of people that struggle with addiction, it's hard to overcome the shame. And so with the shame, you hide, you don't want to talk to others, but the best thing that you can do is stay connected with your recovery group or someone in recovery. And even if it's no one in recovery and it's someone that's normal, being honest with yourself about your feelings and your triggers can help prevent you from having a relapse. Hold on one second. So let me get back on here because I wanted to read a couple of things on here, but I just felt that I wanted to get on here and say something about it because, just because I didn't do it doesn't mean that, I've had relapses, not physical relapses, but emotional. And I'm going to talk about that. That's also in this article. Let's talk about how to prevent relapse. Research has found that getting help in the form of supportive therapy from qualified professionals and social support from peers can prevent or minimize relapse. In particular, cognitive behavioral therapy can help people overcome the fears and negative thinking that can trigger a relapse. Experts in recovery process believe that relapse is a process that identifying its stages can help people take preventative action. So before you even physically get to the relapse, a lot of people have things called emotional relapse. relapse. And there you could be sober for many years and something can happen, like a death in the family, a loss of job, or losing your job, change in in your environment where you live, having to move, anything like that. It can really trigger a relapse. So I just wanted to read to you what an emotional relapse is. At this stage, and we're talking about emotional relapse, at this stage, a person might not even think about using a substance, but their lack of attention or self care, their isolation, isolation can be really dangerous, or their inconsistent attendance at therapy sessions or group meetings set them up for relapse. This is when an individual needs self care, sleep, and healthy eating. Okay, if you feel like you're good and you're doing all right, and you're like, you know what, I'm good, I have a couple of months, I got a couple of years or whatever, and you take on all these projects, you think that you're okay, but you start to get stressed out. Listen to your body, listen to your mind. If you're tired, rest. If you're hungry, eat. If you are lonely, go to a meeting or get some healthy you know get some healthy friends around you, or healthy company around you, and that will help you with your emotional relapse that may lead you to a physical relapse. So let's talk about mental relapse. So emotional and mental they're two different things. This stage is characterized by a tug of war between the past habits and the desire to change, romanticizing about past drug use, hanging out with old friends, lying, and thoughts about relapses, dangerous signs. Coping skills can keep thoughts from escalating into substance abuse. Okay. And so first it's emotional relapse, then it's mental relapse. See, the mental relapse is when you're like, you try, so it could really happen just to any of us. You could sit back and just start fantasizing, like, dang, it's such a nice hot day, I wish I could have that margarita. But what does Keisha Payne do? That's me, KP. What do? If I thought that way, or I have thought that way over the past 5.5 years, I'm like, okay, the thought will come in my head, gosh, I wonder if I can drink safely. No, I can't drink safely. What do? I play the tape back, and I know that I don't know when I'd ever stop. So I'm just like, I don't entertain that anymore, because it's not anything that will serve me well. It's just going to make me possibly have a physical relapse. Once a person begins drinking or taking drugs, it's hard to stop the process. And for some of my brothers and sisters in recovery, that relapse, some of us, we don't make it back. And I hope that's not going to be any story for your loved ones or anybody here watching. I hope that I can inspire you to watch yourself in the signs of emotional relapse, mental relapse, and physical relapse. And if you physically relapse, you don't have to stay there. You start over tomorrow. If you're sitting in your home or wherever you are listening to this, and you're struggling with drugs and alcohol, and you've relapsed, and you're like, I can't do that. That's cool that you could do that, but that's not me. You just try again tomorrow, and thank God that you have another day. Thank your higher power of your understanding that you have another day. So I just want to say that the promises, for those of you guys who are watching, I'm going to say the promises, and then I'm just going to allow God to guide me of this message. Hi, HB. Hello. How you doing? Thank you for joining me. And I love the promises because they're so inspiring. I have, I'm working with someone who is struggling, and they say that they love the promises, and I know that the promises are inspiring, and you can apply them to any part of your life, anything that applies, because we all go through phases of development of life, and we change. We're growing, even if we're older. Doesn't matter. We all have room to grow. So I'm going to say the promises, and then I'm going to read a little bit more about relapse. Thank you for joining me. And don't forget to thumbs up this video. I hope this blesses someone out there. So the promises go something like this. And like I said, apply it to any part of your life. It could be eating, you could be overeating, you could be spending too much, you could have a love addiction, you could have a sex addiction, okay? So I laugh at silly things. I mean, it's not silly, but Anyway, if you're painstaken about this phase of your development, you're going to be amazed before you're halfway through. You're going to know a new freedom and a new happiness. You will not regret the past nor wish to shut the door on it. You will comprehend the word serenity and you will know peace. No matter how far down the scale you go, you will see how your experience can benefit others, and that feeling of uselessness and self pity will disappear. You will lose interest in selfish things and gain interest in your fellows. Self seeking will slip away. Your whole attitude and outlook upon life will change. Fear of people and economic insecurity will leave you. You will intuitively handle situations that used to baffle you. You will suddenly realize that God is doing for you what you cannot do for yourself. Are these extravagant promises? We think not. They're being fulfilled among us, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. They will always materialize if we work for them. Okay, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And I break that down too on meditation. Like, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. There's so many things we cannot change in in this world, in our life circumstance, right? God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can. I can't change that I can never drink safely anymore. But what I can have the courage to do is not pick up and turn it over to my higher power to keep me here for longer than the enemy wanted me to be. Okay. So I just want to encourage you guys out there that if you have relapsed, just know that it can be a part of your story. You're not the only one. And even though it didn't happen to me, it happens. And don't beat yourself up. I love you. And I am going to play something before I leave. And I just want to be more consistent with some, relapse and recovery content. And I just want to be an inspiration to those out there that are having a hard time. I hope that my button was clicked on the what is it called? The audio every time I try to share something. So, it is. Okay. I love me some Aretha Franklin. And so we're going to listen to her for a little bit and get back possibly into this message about relapse. And yeah, just sit back and relax and enjoy. Yeah, and I also wanted to, send prayers up for everyone that's struggling with the opiate epidemic and everybody struggling with people and losing people that are unfortunately getting, they're getting they're losing people to fentanyl overdose, and it's happening all over. And I really feel like this song is fitting because there is this part where she says, taking lives taking lives. I mean, of course, everybody's not innocent who's doing it, but I really love that song, Never Gonna Break My Faith. I know that a lot of people are struggling with the opiates and everything. And I just really hope and pray that if you're struggling with that you also are able to get out of the darkness and get some help. So don't forget to thumbs up this video. And for those of you guys who are struggling, I'm praying for you. I love you. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.